Hey, nonprofits, let's raise more money. For this episode, Jason and Trevor talk about what it means to be an equal opportunity receiver and why it is tremendously effective when it comes to raising more money for your organization. Let's get right into it.
Jason coined this phrase. I really like it. I think it has particular application in the fundraising space because that's kind of what we do and what we talk about day in and day out. We always want to be, because we have a job to do, which is to raise more money for our organization, and advance our mission. We always want to maintain that we are equal opportunity receivers. Tell me about that, Jay.
Well, if you're seeing this now, you can see I've got my black hat on. I'm the man in black today.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because this is kind of a subject that a lot of people like to dance around, and I'm just going to come right at it full frontal.
Oh,
especially we're in election season right now, and there's a lot of people getting all worked up about what they do instead of focusing on their mission. And I'm telling you that you're going to make a mistake if you do that. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples.
Plenty of distractions out there.
I don't care what side of the aisle you sit on, okay, politically. I don't care. That has nothing to do with this. But what happens is sometimes people make it a situation. And I'll give you an example. I know a guy that was wanted to pay $50,000 to an organization for literacy. And he wanted to do this program and use this software, and he was going to pay $50,000 for it. And this organization found a tweet that this guy had sent.
Oh, a tweet. Yes.
A tweet that didn't
align with their
ideology. The executive director's ideology, political ideology. And the funny thing was, there wasn't anything really political about it. But so they said, no, we're not going to do that. Now, in this case, the guy went to another organization, gave them $50,000, and they wound up doing the deal. It was a literacy program. But my point is what in the world are you doing? Why, it wasn't a political deal. It was about helping people read.
Yeah, we can't let that get in the way.
It was about helping people read, and they're doing this, and they gave up $50,000. And how many people could they have helped?
Yeah,
about 1,000. They could have helped 1,000 people learn to read, and instead, because that's what their deal was, it was like $50 a person for this deal. They would help people read, and instead of doing that, they decided not to.
They made it about politics.
I'm not even sure that they're around anymore. And my point of that is, anything that you think that you possibly could do standing on and if that's your job is to be in the political arena, that's a different
ball game. We're not talking to PACs, probably. Yeah.
I'm talking about the folks that are out there sending kids to camp,
helping people read,
helping people
with mental illness,
the safety net. That provide the safety net for society.
Yeah.
And your mission is what you should be focused on.
Yeah.
And just because somebody doesn't pull the same doesn't, and again, this is not a deal to one side or the other. It's just, I've seen it on both sides. I've seen somebody who withheld a donation, a significant donor, because the executive director of the organization was out on her personal soapbox talking about stuff, and they didn't like it.
Seen that a lot, as a matter of fact.
And they didn't like it, and they're like, you know what? If that's how you feel about things, I think I probably need to do it. The reality was, that was her personal view, not the organization's view, because the organization's view was just.
But they get intertwined when they're the face of the organization sometimes.
And I just think it's a mistake. I think that people get worked up emotionally about stuff, and what you ought to be emotional about is about your mission.
That's by design. Design.
It's and again, I don't want to get into the political deal, but that's what it winds up being on some situation, because Trevor, you and I. The fact that you like purple and I like pink, and we think that ours is the best color because we can't come to deal, then by gosh, we're just not going to talk to each other at all. Well, that's just craziness.
Yeah.
And especially in the world, there's a lot of competition out there for the dollars, and I believe, and you believe, and we believe that there is plenty of money out here.
There's a tremendous amount of money.
There's not a shortage of money when it comes to donating to these nonprofits. And advancing your causes. What there is short-sightedness and understanding that the person that you think is, you're offending, that you're pissed off about, or you're offended by, or whatever, can write a 6-figure check and not miss it, and wants and is passionate about your organization and
They're
your
fans.
cause. And you just got to reach out there and get them.
Yep.
So this is just a word of caution. Put all that stuff aside, focus on your mission and do it. Your opinion's your opinion. I don't think anybody ought to, say whatever you want to say. It's free country. My point is, sometimes it's better off just to keep your mouth shut and not say anything than go and do that, especially when you're in the fundraising world, because, I'm just saying, I've seen it up front and close literally from both sides.
Sure.
Where folks have missed out on some really good opportunities. And, I just think it's unfortunate that happens. And so don't
let that get in the way. There's so much. It's hard enough getting to that point.
Focus on your
anyway.
mission. Exactly. This is not easy anyway. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I just think, don't throw up roadblocks in front of yourself.
Unnecessary. Yep, exactly.
HA Nation, it's Trevor here. If you're getting any joy, any value out of this episode, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment, share it with someone in your network. Now back to the episode.
Both sides.
Sure.
Where folks have missed out on some really good opportunities. And, I just think it's unfortunate that happens. And so
don't let that get in the way. There's so much. It's hard enough getting to that point.
Focus on
anyway.
your mission. Exactly. This is not easy anyway. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I just think, don't throw up roadblocks in front of yourself.
Unnecessary. Yep, exactly. Exactly. I listened to a really interesting podcast the other day, and gentleman said, everyone's like all trying to pick sides, and the world is divided, the country's divided, pardon me, between blue and red. And he's like, what we all need to come to realize is that the color, the country is actually more purple. It's more of a blend of all of us. And if we can maintain that viewpoint, I think that's actually will bring you back down to earth, so to speak. I think sometimes we get caught up in that myopic focus, and it's all got to be about this. And having a 30,000 foot view of things is a much more advantageous and a much more wise position to hold, right?
I've been all across this great country.
Yeah, true.
And I absolutely believe that there's 10% on one side, 10% on the other, and they're the extremists that just
happen to be really loud. Yeah,
actually, right. I think it's probably about 2% on each side.
Could be.
And then there's another 8 that get pulled into it. But everybody else is just trying to figure out. Half the time you talk to somebody and they don't even know what the heck you're talking about.
Yeah. And that divisiveness, that darkness, that chaos is very loud. That chaos is very, very loud. And positivity and optimism and togetherness and cohesion is rooted in silence, because it just does its thing. You know what I mean? It just does its work day in and day out. It's proven, and it doesn't need to shout with the megaphone. But chaos and darkness and division, those things are loud, and we need to be aware of those things.
Well, and we're hitting on social media and all the stuff, and I get it. It's hard for me to bite my tongue and not say something smart alecky on something every once in a while.
That's the point, because it's good. The machine is good at getting us to do that and twisting the screws. And it's okay. That's okay. And it's okay to be on it, but don't let it control you, and don't let it get in the way of you becoming an EOR. Jason, I made the acronym: Equal Opportunity Receiver. EOR. Like be an EOR.
I like it.
Yeah.
And we don't mean from Christopher Robin.
And forgive the Winnie the Pooh reference, but be an EOR and always keep your mission first, and be gracious and grateful and thankful when those opportunities for folks to give come your way. Please remember that.
I literally, have seen this stuff where they'll match on every aspect in the mission.
Yeah.
And then because something outside the mission, outside of that doesn't have anything to do with it, gets in the way.
Yep.
And a personality trips us up, and the next thing you know, we're sitting there going, "Wow, yeah, that was $100,000 donor."
Yep. We're more similar than we are disparate, that's for sure.
We are, and there's no reason not to, to reach out, because that is what we're supposed to do, is reach out and connect together. And that's the great thing about the nonprofit space, and why we love being in it, and why we love being around it, is because all the good that comes out of it, all the wonderful good things that comes out of it.
Yep. Let's focus on that, everybody. Speaking of reach out, Jay, if folks want to reach out to us, they can find us at jason@hjafundraising.com, Trevor at HJ Fund. That's Trevor with a T and Jason with a J, by the way, everybody. At hjafundraising.com. If you have any questions or thoughts, share with us. Let us know. If you're listening to this, of course, you can leave us a review. If you're watching it on YouTube, you can leave a comment. Please do, because we want to get some feedback from you. Maybe you're challenged with something like this, and we can talk you off the ledge, so to speak, when it comes to whether or not you need to make that call, or let us be a third party that can help, maybe, or just another set of eyes on things, if that helps, and we're happy to do it. So please reach out,
absolutely,
communicate with us, let us know how you feel, and let us know what you're facing, and hey, guess what? If we don't know the answer, we know someone that does. So I'll call Jason.
We like riffing about this stuff. I mean, this is fun for us. I had somebody call. I've talked to a client, longtime client, and they got clipped with a big shortfall. They lost a big grant funding for next year.
Okay.
And this year, next year, and it's going to leave them
upside down,
probably 7 figures short on their budget.
Wow.
And I said, hey, let's sit down and talk about it. We've already got a meeting scheduled for next week, and we're going to sit down and get all the, everybody's going to come together, and we're just going to go and map out a plan to fix it.
Yep.
And that's we're going to game plan about it and what to do.
Yep.
So
that's what we're here for, everybody. Take us up on our offer, and please communicate with us.
And that's so
happy to help. Jay, I appreciate you, brother. I thought that was great. Equal opportunity receivers. I love that, man. I love the stuff we come up with.
For sure, man.
For sure. All right, take it with you, everybody, because you need it. You need it. So thank you, brother. That was really good, man.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening. If you love our podcast, click the subscribe button below, like this video, and leave your questions in the comments. See you next time.